everyone. So, when I filmed Chapter 6 of Karen's Granddad, there was a slight mix-up, and my phone didn't let me know when we were starting Chapter 7. So, I'm going to redo this today, and hopefully it does let me know, and I'll also be reading Chapter 7 to you guys as well, because, I feel bad about the mix-up and not being able to tell you guys when we started Chapter 7. But anyway, so this chapter is called In the Middle of the Night, and Chapter 7 is called Waiting Up. When I got home, I went straight to Granddad's room. The door was closed. "Hi, honey," Granny whispered from behind me. "Granddad was feeling tired this afternoon, so he is taking a nap." I tiptoed away so I would not disturb him. I wanted to tell Granddad about my day at school, but my stories would have to wait. Granddad slept until dinner time. Then he ate in his room. I visited with him before I went to bed. "I am sorry I have been such a sleepyhead," said Granddad. "Come sit down and tell me how your book sharing went." "Everyone liked my report a lot," I said. "Miss Coleman told me that the Velveteen Rabbit is one of her favorite stories." "I am so glad," replied Granddad. "And what about the other books?" I told Granddad about my grandson Lou, Everett Anderson's Goodbye, I Hate English, and a few other books kids shared. "Those sound like very good books," said Granddad. "Maybe you could borrow some from the library and read them to me." I thought that was a gigadolly good idea. We talked some more. Then Seth told me it was my bedtime. I kissed Granddad goodnight. "See you in the morning," I said. I went upstairs and climbed into my warm, cozy little house bed. I fell asleep right away. A few hours later, I heard the noises. I had been sound asleep. At first I thought I was dreaming. But when I opened my eyes, the noises didn't stop. Did not stop, excuse me. They were coming from downstairs. I heard people running. I heard Granny calling for help. I was confused and scared. "Mommy? Mommy?" I called. "It is all right," replied Mommy. "Go back to sleep." The next thing I heard was Granny talking on the phone. I heard the words, "heart attack." I jumped out of bed and ran to the head of the stairs. Andrew stumbled out of his room and stood next to me. "Mommy," I called again. "What is going on?" "Granddad had a heart attack," replied Mommy. "You and Andrew stay upstairs." "What did Mommy say?" asked Andrew. He was too sleepy and too little to understand. I led him back to his room and tucked him into bed. "Everything will be all right. You go back to sleep now," I told Andrew. I said it just the way Mommy would say it to me. I ran to my room and took Goosey in my arms. "Something terrible is happening to Granddad." "I am so frightened," I said. I held Goosey tightly while I listened to the voices. I held Goosey tightly while I listened to the voices downstairs. Chapter 7. Waiting Up. I could not stay in bed any longer. I got up and went back to the head of the stairs. I brought Goosey with me. I could not hear everything the voices were saying, but I heard still breathing, an ambulance, and emergency room. Mommy, is Granddad going to be okay? I called. Mommy came to the foot of the stairs and looked up at me. We are taking good care of Granddad. We need you to stay upstairs. I know it is difficult, but try to go back to sleep, Karen, said Mommy. Try to go back to sleep, said Mommy. Darn it, I'm just messing up everything today. I can't sleep. I am too worried, I replied. Just then, we heard an ambulance siren in the distance. It grew louder and louder. Then it stopped. I heard doors opening and slamming shut. Be a good helper and go back to bed, Karen, said Mommy. I have to stay downstairs now. I promise I will come sit with you in a few minutes. I wanted to be a good helper, so I went back to my room. I looked out the window. I could see the ambulance outside. The light on top was flashing as it went round and round. I heard strangers' voices and more noises downstairs. Then I saw a stretcher being carried out of the house by people in white coats. I could see the shape of Granddad lying on the stretcher. I could not see his face. I wanted to see his face. They put the stretcher into the back of the ambulance. Granny climbed in. Then they closed the door and sped away. Seth followed the ambulance in his car. Oh, Goosey! They took Granddad away! I exclaimed. Then I began to cry so hard I did not think I could ever stop. Mommy came in and put her arms around me. She led me to the bed and rocked me until I stopped crying. Will Granddad be okay? I asked. I hope so, replied Mommy. The doctors will take very good care of him at the hospital. Seth promised to call later to tell us what the doctors say. I want to stay up till Seth calls, I said. Karen, you have school tomorrow. You need your rest, replied Mommy. I cannot sleep, Mommy, I said. I want to wait up with you. Mommy took me to her room and we cuddled up in her big bed together. We rested until the phone rang. Mommy picked up the phone, said hello, then listened. What did Seth say? How is Granddad? I asked when she hung up. Seth said Granddad is resting in the coronary intensive care unit, replied Mommy. Seth and Granny will be coming home soon. I knew what the coronary care unit was. Granddad had been in one before in a hospital in Nebraska. That is where they take care of anyone who has had a serious heart attack. Suddenly, I felt very tired. Mommy walked me back to my room and tucked me into bed. Get some rest, sweetheart, she said. Mommy kissed me on the forehead. I fell asleep. And that is it for chapters 6 and 7 of Karen's Granddad. I'm so sorry for the mix-up last time. I hope you guys enjoyed this video.